Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Jayhay, I've got some bad news. It's more so bad news for me. I think it's bad news for all of us. In different ways. Like, we're not going to receive this bad news equally. It's kind of like the eye of the beholder type deal. So Friday, I was at Fenway Park and I got there early because it was an Apple TV game. And they have so many awesome analysts that work for them. You know, when they do Apple TV on the Friday nights, I believe they do 2 games every single Friday. So they're traveling a lot. They're going to a lot of different ballparks. So I had gotten there early to do a segment with Nikki Cass and Heidi Watney. And after I had finished doing the segment, I was like, you know, I'm going to wander over to the Red Sox dugout, see what's going on over there. Start talking to Will Middlebrooks, and you know, he's a big Cowboys fan. We're talking Dallas Cowboys and all that. And then I look over to my left, and who do I see? It's Dontrelle Willis. And so I go up to Dontrelle Willis, and I'm like, D-Train, what's going on, man? And he's like, man, it's good to see you. It's been a while. I was like, yeah. I was like, it has been a while. It's great to see you as well. I was like, you wouldn't have happened to have spoken to Dallas Braden recently, have you? Like, you wouldn't have like gotten a text or a call from DB in recent days, have you? And he's like, no, for what? And I was like, well, so like we got this thing on the podcast where, you know, we do jersey bets, right? Where, you know, like it could be for anything, like a series. It could be like a season long play. It could be a series play. It could be a home run derby play, you know, like you never know when a jersey bet's going to break out. But I was like, so last year, like almost a year to the day, I made a jersey bet with Dallas, and I wanted a Dontrelle Willis jersey. And he was making it seem like he's like, don't worry, like I got something in the works. Like, you know, me and D-Train, like we're cooking up something amazing. And he was like, nope. Haven't heard from him. Don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. All right. Good to know.
See,
good to know. That's good to know because here I am sitting here being like, don't push for the jersey anymore. Like, clearly Dallas is working on something that's going to be fucking sweet, like super sweet. Nope. He's just lying to punt it further down the line. There's no jersey coming. There was never a jersey coming. So then I will argue the other side for you, Dallas. So I go over and I explain to Will Middlebrooks what happened there. I was like, yeah, I had to shake him down about this jersey bet from Dallas, and Dallas made it seem like he was working on something with D-Train, but D-Train, no clue, doesn't know what I'm talking about. And he's like, well, like, have you considered that like both individuals involved like smoke more weed than anyone on this planet, and there's a chance they did have the conversation and they just don't remember having it? And I was like, Will, that's a great point. That is a great point. I guess I do have to consider that maybe the conversation did happen, but then you question the character of Dallas Braden, and it's like, well, I don't know if I want to give him that out so easily. So I did kind of, I know people are invested in the jersey bets at home. I know, you know, Jayhay won the home run derby jersey bet, which at this point it's approaching, I think it's about 2 months ago. And for me,
I mean, we know that there's a Cal Raleigh jersey that's been secured. We know that.
Sure. For yourself at this point.
I just want to interject here because it does feel like it's at risk of being lost to the dustbin of history. I am owed that Cal Raleigh jersey or a Cal Raleigh jersey. I'm also owed a Jose Ramirez jersey from the Guardians A series bet loss. So like, I know that Cal Raleigh is the glitz and the glamour. Dallas, yeah. This is the addiction thing. Like, this is
right.
It happens so often that you lose track of what you've lost. And now it's almost as if I'm not owed a Joe Ram jersey at all. When I very much am. That was a hard and fast.
I very much am.
That is a hard and fast jersey bet. It was a series bet, and it's not my problem that the A's didn't show up on Sunday. Okay, that's all there is to this. Sorry, continue on.
Oh no, Gavin Williams showed up to have a fucking career day. That's what happened.
Yeah, there's nothing really else that I want to add other than, man, is it like the more you dig Jayhay, the bigger the problem becomes. Now there's like lying and deception happening where
there's not. I think Will is probably onto something because I can remember having that conversation, and I don't need to go into where we may have been mentally at the time, but I know that we were both kind of seeing eye to eye at the time, me and Train, and so that
did Dallas sell his mic as part of this addiction?
Yeah, I think that might have been part of it too. Yeah, he sounds horrible. Doesn't have a microphone, and it's like, oh no, I left it at home. Okay, yeah, it's crazy. And now, he's wearing a Sports World Saugus, Massachusetts hat. Like he probably was like, I'll wear it on the podcast. Just give me $1,000. No problem. I'll wear it on the pod. Like he's making side deals to cover the jersey
I'm driving to
bets.
Saugus after we're recording, and I'm going to go get my Joe Ram and my Cal Raleigh jersey at Sports World.
Yeah.
That's where they're sitting right now.
Yeah.
And the microphone. I'm going to get Dallas's mic back for him too.
Well, that's at a local pawn shop. Yeah.
Oh man, D-Train turned around and started saying like, I heard the weirdest story about Dallas Braden the other day. Like,
yeah.
And now, so that's going to trickle out.
Is he good? Yeah, I don't know if he's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Train understands where I'm coming from. We've talked about it, Jared. We've talked about it.
I don't know that you did.
We've talked about it.
Sad.
I'm going to take care of that.
Yeah, it's like those it's like those like thriller movies where at the end you find out he never did talk to D-Train about it. Dun dun dun. Yeah, no, it's very sad stuff that's happening with our dear friend Dallas.
We're taking care of it.
I'm sure. Yeah, he's doing this. Like this is Dallas right now. No, I'm taking care of it. It's like, Dallas, there's no phone in that case. Oh shit. Oh yeah, my bad. He is. It's not good. It's not good what's happening to our dear friend Dallas.
It's fine. It's fine. I've already ironed things out. We're so good to go.
Yeah, sure.
So good.
Yeah.
Ask Train next time you see him.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I'm sure he'll have an update. Dallas is in Boston. That's why he's wearing a Sports World Saugus hat, and we might have something coming with the Sports World folks for the postseason. Yeah, there's a lot riding on whether or not the Red Sox can figure it the fuck out.
Can't you just kind of keep everybody posted?
Yeah.
From actually, you know what, Jared? From what I'm hearing here recently is this wasn't sort of like a slow recon mission. It's starting to feel like this may have been something that was a priority for you. This what I will call what it's starting to sound like you may have accosted an individual and stopped them from progressing throughout their professional night. Like Dontrell may have had things to do, but instead was sort of cornered, as it sounds. And all the words that are being used are words like "couldn't wait to tell me," words like "pinned me in." Those are words that are being used to describe the interaction now. And there are several smiley faces that are following these. Your boy just could not wait. Like so. I'm starting to feel like you may have went to Fenway seeking this out. Like this wasn't just a happenstance. This was your radar pinged and you immediately shifted gears and honed in on.
I led with it. Yeah, I led with it.
What else are you leading with?
Yeah.
What else? Hey, how's the fam?
Like,
how's the fam? By the way, my buddy's got this awful gambling addiction, and you're caught up in it. So, like,
you're in the middle of it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that accosted was what would have been the word I would have used. I would have said made a beeline to Dontrell Willis and then led with the jersey bet saga. Sure. And the conversation was actually interrupted by Aroldis Chapman. He just kind of came up and was like, "You're done talking to D-Train. I'm doing that now." And I was like, "Sure,
All right,
sounds good. Yeah, later, you guys."
You didn't look at him like Jazz did. You didn't look at him like Jazz did when Chapman almost threw 1,000-mile-an-hour fastball through his ribcage.
Yeah, and then Jazz was staring out towards the mound, and then Chapman literally walked up to the umpire to receive the baseball, as if to say, "I stare at me all you want. I'll kill you." Like, I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, Chapman walking to the mound is his way of going, if you thought you wanted to, please evaluate.
Just take a look. Yeah.
And I'm right here. I'm going to turn around too. I'm going to walk back to the mound. That might be a time you feel like you have the best shot. Feel free. Feel free. That is one dude. Put it like this. I'm not putting one above the other, size-wise, whatever. Like, I told you about Tommy Pham before you learned about Tommy Pham, and then everybody learned about Tommy Pham. I don't need to tell you anything about Chapman just as far as physical, like, imposition goes. Like, that's just a dude you don't want to fuck with.
Yeah, he's rather large. He did say he's lost 25 pounds.
Sure. Whatever. He can tell me he can tell me he gained 300 and he's carrying it well. And I would go, "You're right, man. It looks good. You look great."
Yeah. Yeah. I think
like,
losing 25.
Where did he lose on his weenus? Like his elbows like just that much more defined? Like, where do you lose? Where does that dude lose 25 pounds from? Whatever.
I don't know, but he is jacked. He's ripped. But I think he was kind of like attributing the weight loss to staying healthy as a 37-year-old that throws 101 miles an hour. Yeah, checks out. It checks out. You know what else checks out is my picks on the Underdog Fantasy app. I might drop a pick 'em today. Yeah, I feel like winning today. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick 'em game is as simple as selecting my picks. Yeah. I think I only did one pick 'em all of last week. It did win, obviously, but it was a busy week last week. It's going to be a busy week this week too, but I have to make time for some pick 'ems because we're at the end of the line.
People are so thirsty today. They're so thirsty.
I've gotten a lot of tweets asking for the pick 'ems. I mean, it's not even like, can I have your picks? It's like, can I please have some money using your brain? And I'm like, sure.
I'm not even getting tweets. I might even be getting direct messages, maybe text messages asking picks. You know,
picks, Rocket picks. You got them. Definitely not Dallas picks. Like, it's just,
man, they're coming.
No, those are money makers for the company, man. Are you kidding?
Yeah, well, buddy, you and I are playing two different games here, Jared. All right,
right.
This is good.
We're like Bebop and Rocksteady. You're just not sure of, just trust me.
This is gonna be very funny. Like every episode that we do with Dallas on the road now, like every time like another brand gets added to the background, like there's just more. Like he just keeps selling sponsorship in his shot. he's got like a t-shirt on, and he's got like a banner in the back. And
what do you mean I can't check my sponsorship suitcase?
Getting awfully thirsty, guys. Awfully thirsty here.
It's literally Wayne's. It's Wayne Campbell in Wayne's World. It's
yeah. It's bad. It's so bad. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, though. That's Jared to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. The Philadelphia Phillies have officially clinched the NL East. This was promised. This was something that I feel like a lot of us thought was going to happen all along. The Phillies are the most talented team. I mean, they're definitely not the most paid team, but they are super talented, and they will be a team that I think a lot of us are looking at because we've sort of followed their story from day one. I think in day one, I mean, from like the start of the Bryce Harper era. Once they opened up this new chapter of Philadelphia Phillies baseball, where Bryce Harper signs with the Phillies and says he can't wait to bring a World Series back to DC, and then you bring in the Schwarbers and the Harpers, and you re-up the Nolas, and you add the Wheelers. Like, this version of the Philadelphia Phillies, this era really started in 2022. So I'll ask you guys: does it finally culminate in 2025? And if it doesn't, are you worried that it won't in this era?
Well, I don't want to say a lot of it has to do with, how tough is it to have this conversation right now and everything that we had been talking about concerning Zach Wheeler and him not a part of that? That's brutal. That is tough. So to think that we're at a spot where all of those things coming together finally reach ahead, and that could very well mean the brass at the end of it, to have Zach Wheeler not in a position to continue not only his Cy Young pursuit, but to be able to help and be able to produce for this team that does find themselves in the position that we all expected them to be in. A large part of it has to do with what Zach Wheeler has done, and now you are just going to remove that and think that you are going to continue to sail the way you have. That's the part that I think is tough to digest. What do you got, Jay?
No, I think it's very hard to digest while simultaneously being right in front of us that they can do it on some level, right? Because you look at how we felt about where they were when they lost Zach Wheeler and what has happened in the interim, and it's only been the Phillies dusting the fucking Mets, right? And I know a non-trivial part of that was the Mets losing and contributing to that dusting, right? So yes. I'm not saying that that is my overriding concern, obviously, that they don't have the Zach Wheeler portion of this, and that without him, I think the last time we talked about this, I brought up Aaron Nola and needing to see more from him than we had seen up until that point. Maybe you guys feel differently. I haven't really seen, he has had individual starts that have been okay, but I'm not seeing anything that makes me feel anything resembling comfort about putting him in a high leverage spot in a start in a game that matters in the postseason.
No, I agree with you. And that's where, I think you have to accept what you're going to get in Luzardo and Sanchez and Suarez. Those are not bad options in terms of what are our frontline three starters going to look like? Who are we running out there to start the series? That's what that's going to look like. It's going to be some combination of Suarez, Luzardo, and Sanchez, which is, in my opinion, quite enough. That should be good enough to give yourself an opportunity to win ball games. And I think that, because what are you going to do? There's a chance that Taijuan Walker is probably in the bullpen at some point in time to help out, right? There's a pathway here for the Phillies, even though it is now light a Zach Wheeler, which is a hell of a wheel to have rolling for you, no doubt. But there is still an opportunity for them to get to where they want to be at the end of this thing. There's no question in my mind about that.
And we've spent this entire time talking about the pitching, obviously, because Zach Wheeler is the top story. But it's since his injury, it's really been the offense that has carried the story for the Phillies. They've been the best offense in baseball since Zach Wheeler went down. That date exactly. They've been the best. Trey Turner, I think I took a little bit of heat from some people who remembered some tweets because I said that there was $200+ million remaining on Trey Turner's contract earlier this season, saying oh shit, that kind of sucks. And pretty steadily over the course of the season, Trey Turner has managed to become one of the 3 or 4 most valuable position players in the entire NL, and has been playing his best baseball over this stretch since Wheeler went down. He's been their best player. That's inclusive of Kyle Schwarber and all of those homers. Trey Turner has hit over 400 in this stretch, over 21 games and 100 plate appearances. Yeah.
The best thing that they have going for them right now, Jayhay, is that they have sewed up the division with a little under 2 weeks left to go, and Trey Turner can heal. Now I think what you try to do if you're the Phillies, you want to finish strong. There's no question about that. And I've talked a lot about this with the A's because they've been playing and will continue to play postseason hopefuls. And what do you want to do if you're a young team like the Athletics playing against teams like this? Is you almost want to match them brand for brand of baseball. Meaning, if you're watching the team that's trying to get to October, take selfless at-bats, and they're really focusing on giving themselves up in the moment, doing what the game is asking them to do to move things along, whether it's run-scoring opportunities, right, coming in and bearing down, making pitches as a reliever, trying to clean an inning up, whatever. Prioritizing those types of performances, though, I think is something that you have to do. And for the Phillies, with a guy like Trey Turner not healthy and the offense having done what they've done, now it's almost like let's focus in on doing the little things that we know we're going to be asking each other to do once the calendar turns to October? Can we get ourselves prepared to play that brand of baseball right now heading down the stretch? Because that's a luxury, I think, that if you want to look at it where does this team, or what are they going to do? They're going to hit the brakes and slow down and kind of cruise through the finish line because they have it sewed up? Or are they going to be playing the same brand of baseball? And I think this gives a team an opportunity to not rest on their laurels and actually kind of prepare themselves for the tournament, if you will.
Yeah, I think also the last time that we had a conversation about the Phillies rotation, it might have been right when Zach Wheeler went down to kind of like assess the situation, what the options are going to be like. I don't know that we did a ton of Ranger Suarez talk because I think at the time, like Taijuan Walker was pitching much better than he has been recently. So it was more like Taijuan Walker is the role player. And then we had the Luzardo conversation with Christopher Sanchez, that comparison. But in the weeks that have followed, Ranger Suarez, I mean, like that's a dude. Like in October, he was a big reason why they had that run in 22. And then if you just look at the second half here, Ranger Suarez has made as many starts as Luzardo and Walker. Christopher Sanchez, I think his turn. When is he pitched this week, Jayhay? Is he tonight?
Who, Sanchez?
Yeah, tonight or tomorrow. But either way, like he's made just as many starts as the rest of his rotation mates, sans Zach Wheeler. And it's a 3.72 ERA. He's averaging 6 innings per start. It's a 9.23 strikeouts per 9. And what's his whip?
Just to bring that back, it's tonight against Ohtani.
Yeah,
Sanchez.
okay. Yeah. So then they would all have made 11 turns. Like he's made all of his starts in the second half. And he's been slightly better than Luzardo. And obviously, Christopher Sanchez is in a league of his own, but he's been much better than Taijuan Walker.
Suarez has been absolutely disgusting over his last 5-6 starts, dude. This dude has been dealing 1.47 ERA over his last 6, Jared. 31 innings, 36 and 2/3 innings, 44 punch-outs with a FIP of 2.19. So for Suarez right now, he's going to make, 2 more turns? This is as good as you could have him at the most important time of the season. Throwing the ball this way.
Are you worried going into the postseason that the Phillies are like too left-handed? Like like if you were to set up their rotation right now, it's lefty, lefty, lefty.
Right. Correct. I mean, there could very well be. I mean, I don't know how issues. You're talking to a left-handed pitcher who likes the idea of left-handers coming in and doing work and just being tough to deal with. So I'm gonna stop short of saying that that's a problem for them.
I mean, I guess it depends on who they would draw. As it lines up right now, who would they face?
Well, they would face. Well, hold on. They don't have as many wins as. Or no, well, they do, right? They have the most wins in the National League, so
it would be the Dodgers,
them and the Dodgers, yeah, because the Brewers would then because the Brewers have 91 wins sitting right now. The Brewers would get the wild card.
The Dodgers, they have the best slugging percentage against left-handed pitching in the National League.
So that could present an issue.
Yes, yeah, and then later down the line, you have the Cubs. Who, if you remove the top 3 teams that hit lefties the best, or from a slugging percentage standpoint in the National League, Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs.
But that's where, if you're the Phillies, you got to think to yourself, there's some left-handers in these lineups that could very well be neutralized because of these left-handers. So, pick your poison. And I'm not telling you that that's going to be the answer to everything. But if you're just trying to look at it from a perspective where, hey, you know what, maybe we're not just going to run into a buzzsaw and completely get our ass kicked. We got some left-handers that when you put them up against other left-handers or even some staunch right-handers, I like our odds. I like our chances. I mean, Ohtani's just a different animal. Like those numbers for him, like left-hander, right-hander at the plate, doesn't matter. But yeah, like if you, because if you get the work done early against these left-handers in the ball game and you don't have anywhere to go after that, I mean, it becomes a long game quickly as far as matchups are concerned.
Freddie's another guy, lefty righty. It don't matter.
No, yeah. So as far as the Dodgers are concerned, thinking that you have left-handers that could neutralize left-handers, those are two lefties that are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah. Jayhay, are you worried about the Phillies being lefty in the postseason?
Not particularly. No. I still have, at the end of the day, I still have more concerns about actually kind of, I guess, the opposite or the mirror or the inverse situation, which is how pitchable their offense still is, in my opinion. That to me is still a greater concern than them getting platooned to death from the starting pitchers on their other side. Because I don't know, man. I know how well this offense has been playing lately, and I just feel like, with the exception of probably Bryce Harper and even Bryce to a degree at this point in his career, I just feel like these guys all have ways that they can be pitched to in key spots, and that's my overriding concern. I think I said that was my concern when I picked the Phillies to win the World Series on the preseason predictions podcast. And nothing that I've seen from the offense other than Schwarber's greatness. But even still, like, I want to spin that back on you guys, actually. Has your opinion on Kyle Schwarber and like the ability to pitch to him in the postseason, has your impression of that, good or bad, neutral, changed at all coming off of what's currently a 53 homer season or whatever it ends up being? Like, do you fear him more now as a postseason hitter threat if the Red Sox are lining up on the other side than you did before this season?
I've always known that he's like, say it's 55 and 45. There's no difference to me. Like, it's like he's a home run threat and he's a threat to walk. Yeah, like that's a dude that's going to get on base some way, somehow, and he's going to hurt you. Like, I had the video a couple of years ago. Like, over here, we make a lot about David Ortiz in the postseason. Kyle Schwarber has homered in every postseason round that they've created. Like the NLCS, the ALCS, the ALDS, the NLDS, like the fucking wild cards for both leagues, the World Series. He's hit a home run in every playoff round that MLB has created. So yeah, like that's a guy that regardless of 50 plus, if he was just Kyle Schwarber and he rolled out with 41 home runs this year, which if he was 15 short of what he ended up with by the time he's done with this season, I would look at him the same way as a threat come October.
Yeah, for me, when you're talking about the two, what are, from an offensive perspective, Jayhay, what are the two most valuable things that we think about when it comes to postseason baseball? Teams that can hit the homer and creating scoring opportunities. How do you do that? You got to get on base. So if you're on base like Kyle Schwarber is, I mean, his career postseason on base percentage, 367, right? So I like that to start the ball game. The dude has also hit 21 homers in his postseason career. I like a guy who is already in scoring position to start the ball game. And we can blow past the fact that this is not your prototypical leadoff hitter, or when we just kind of pull back and think about what we're looking for in the postseason, is he the most prototypical leadoff hitter? If we're looking for a guy to do damage or get on base, one of the two to start the ball game, is Kyle Schwarber not really close to what you would start to like identify in a postseason leadoff hitter?
And it's great too, because it flies in the face of, or he flies in the face of, so much of like the fake cliches that people like to trot out about the postseason, some of which are true in doses, right? Or in situational moments. But this idea that like the long ball goes away as an important tool in the postseason, or that can be taken away, or teams that rely on the long ball, aka hit lots of homers, struggle in the postseason. That's all fucking garbage, right? And so the Kyle Schwarber as a leadoff batter, whereas, you know, your classic leadoff batter in the postseason might look a certain way, he's achieving, to your point, everything or almost everything that you want, or that's really, really important about postseason baseball.
Like, think about the pressure. If you're an opposing pitcher and you want to get the inning started off cleanly, you want to get the game started off cleanly, and you are already facing a hitter in which you're telling yourself, look, I make a mistake here, it's 1-0. And I gotta be careful with that. And so now you already are in that I've got to be careful mindset with nobody on base. Just start the game. Now, that psyche changes, obviously, when you get to the postseason, and I'd like to believe that the man on the mound out there gives not a damn about Kyle Schwarber being the leadoff hitter and has a game plan that he's ready to execute. But that's where worlds collide, is your game plan against this power representation. That just feels a little different, right? This isn't Eckstein leading off for the Halos in 0-2. This is not what, these are different animals.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the lefty. I am intrigued, would be the word I would use, to see what Walker Buehler can give them. Look good in that first outing, or good enough. He's fine, but we know that he has a switch. There's plenty of guys where it's like, oh, like once you get to October, can you flip a switch? Like, we know Walker Buehler has that switch, so we'll see if he can flip it. You know what? Today's a special day. Dallas Braden's in Boston. Dallas Braden is someone that very seldom do we get to celebrate with our guy when he's on home turf, when he's in the great region of New England. So I say, let the celebration continue.
Oh, baby. This is, we're calling this the Platinum Edition of the Baines Meter because it's the Platinum player, Matty O, has joined the ranks of the Immortals. Matt Olson, the 9th player this season to reach and pass the Baines line, enter Club 38.8, and achieve immortality. And I got to tell you, I was going to try and push this off to Wednesday, and Braves Twitter, Matt Olson Twitter, was so all over this accomplishment that it couldn't wait one more minute. Olson is one of 17 first basemen since integration to reach the Baines line through his age 31 season, and the first to do so since Freddie Freeman in 2001. It's even more rare than that, though, because he joins Carlos Santana as the only primary first baseman to be inducted into Club 38.8 in the modern era. And as you know, everybody, I'm not even going to say it because we all know what the modern era is, 2023. And he is, his home runs are the 3rd most by a Braves player through his first 4 seasons with Atlanta, and Olson's 285 homers are the 7th most by a first baseman through his age 31 season in the wild card era. Once again, Matt Olson entering Club 38.8. He's the first since August 4th of this season when Justin Turner went in. Matt Chapman, Carlos Santana, Juan Soto, Trey Turner, Zach Wheeler, Corey Seager, George Springer, Justin Turner, and now Mr. Platinum Glove himself, Matt Olson, in Club 38.8. DB, I got to get your reaction first. Matt Olson.
You know what? The Platinum Duo are finally back together again, Jayhay. They're finally back together again. For Matt Olson, let's not forget, this is a man who in 2017 took the world by storm with his power production, 24 homers in just 59 games. He would tell the free baseball world what was coming, and he has not stopped since, Jayhay. The best part about what Matt Olson does, we can talk about abilities all we want. We know what the best ability is, and that is availability. And Matt Olson posts like a mailbox. The dude is there each and every day. 3 years in a row from 22 up until last year, and it'll probably be the same this year. He has played in every single baseball game for the Atlanta Braves. And that is something that you love to be able to count on when one of your best players is also one of your best characters in the clubhouse and also one of your best elite performers. That is an absolute dream. So a tip of the cap to my Uber driver back in 2018, Matt Olson.
Wow. Very big moment. Very big moment for Matty O, the platinum player,
Huge.
as we call
Huge.
him.
I actually, Jayhay, I purchased a Matt Olson rookie card auto yesterday, just because
You knew what
of
was
the
coming.
Baines meter.
Wow.
You know it was coming.
Well, you knew that bump in value was coming. I mean, it's kind of cool. I'm glad you brought up the Chapman Olson thing. Obviously, Chapman was inducted on April 21st of this season. It sort of feels like, they're both alive, of course, but two like old buddy duos meeting in heaven. You know what I mean? They always talk about like, we finally did it. Like, here we are. We find ourselves here in Club 38.8. It's like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis or something. After they're both passed, wow, it's great to see them back together again. Is the point?
Yeah.
Their own little rat pack. That's
Jack
nice.
Lemmon and Walter Matt. It's like
the platinum old boys.
And this is not on the rundown, but we have another Baines Meter today. The Baseball is Dead Twitter account has crossed 38.8. 38.9 thousand followers on the Baseball is Dead Twitter account. Shout out to Connor on the ones and twos with all the content that he tweets out from the show, from the league. This content was, the Twitter account was created after we had left Barstool. Weren't allowed to take our social with us. So in March of 2022, Baseball is Dead, the Twitter account came into this world. And it's season number 4. That's going to be one of the fastest to cross the Baines Meter. 4 seasons.
4 seasons?
That's amazing. That's like Ohtani shit.
Yeah, you never see a Baines Meter 4 seasons in. But thanks to the work of the folks on this show, Dallas, Jayhay, Jake, Connor, all the guests that we've had the last 4 years, the Baseball is Dead Twitter account moonwalks right across that Baines line.
Did not
into
take us
immortality.
22 years.
No, it did not. No, just a quick 4. Just a quick 4. So shout out to the Baseball is Dead Twitter account. Baines Meter legend.
Gosh, would it be too much to get a comparison graphic from Corey on the Baines Meter accomplishments of Harold Baines and our Twitter account? Years achieved. No, that's awesome. Props to whoever noticed that. I legitimately didn't notice. Yeah, that's great. Even more credit to.
Yeah, he was paying attention. Shout out to Connor, man. What a world. What a life. I think the only way I can celebrate is with Ridge wallets. Yeah. I'm bringing my Ridge wallet to the game tonight. I'm going to Fenway. I'll be there presumably for all 3 games. Just did all 3 Yankee games. I'll be at all 3 A's games. I mean, Dallas is in town. It's a special occasion.
Come on.
Yeah, but the Ridge wallet, its unique, slim, modern design, holds up to 12 cards plus cash, made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. Over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from. All Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. That's very important. This is literally the last wallet that you'll ever have to buy. Does it give you peace of mind knowing that all Ridge wallets have RFID blocking technology, keeping you safe from digital pickpocketers? They also have over 100,000 5-star reviews. I would say if you have over 100,000 5-star reviews, that you're doing something right. You're doing something great, actually. Losing your wallet is the worst, but with the Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where it is before panic mode kicks in. This is perfect for Milky. He's always losing his wallet. So we got him a Ridge. Hasn't lost it since. Ridge isn't just about wallets. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping. People always ask, free shipping? Free shipping? Yep, free shipping with Ridge. A 99-day risk-free trial and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. And for a limited time, All BID listeners get 10% off Ridge by using the promo code BID at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use the promo code BID, and you're all set. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and say baseball is dead. Sent ya. Shout out to Ridge, man. Thank you, Ridge. Let's see. Dallas, I do fear we have to acknowledge something that maybe you don't want to. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on this show that you don't want to talk about, but I do fear that it is another year in which the Pittsburgh Pirates will not be dancing in October.
Just ran out of time. Ran out of time. That's all.
That's it.
I mean, there might be some other things that you could factor in, but I think for the most part, that's how I'm going to choose to look at this year, is we just ran out of baseball games to play.
So I'll say this about the Pittsburgh Pirates season. I like Derek Shelton, but they did play much better ball after he was let go. I'm not saying that there's a correlation, but is that something that you can kind of take into the offseason, being like, we're not a doormat. Like, we show up and we play teams tough, and they were pretty respectable for a good chunk of the season. No,
I mean, first of all, how do you want to answer that question? Are you okay with going into the offseason with an interim manager holding that title and not having any sort of definitive step forward? Like, I'd like to think that this is a great test of sorts for DK to be going through, and the way he has responded to your point about how the team is playing, and maybe there is a resurgence and a different mindset that has been adopted. But again, if we're going into the offseason and I'm not quite sure who's leading the charge, that's going to have an impact. And I'm not telling you that it's like not being sure who your head coach is on a football team, but you want to know what sort of culture you can expect, what sort of parameters with which you have to operate, building a culture. The manager of your team has a lot to do with that. And I think if the Pirates can identify that and clear that up, sew that up sooner rather than later, that's just one more thing that you can do to help yourself be better than you were this year. I think understanding that what has kind of happened over the last month and a half, 2 months or whatever, and what you've been getting from some guys, like, look, you understand you're going to have to say goodbye to Andrew McCutchen, right? Like what you've been excited about to see from a Tommy. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, if you will. What do you got, Jay?
No, I mean, like, I understand exactly what you're saying. The crazy part and the condemnation here is that, like, Andrew McCutchen was like semi-essential to what they were doing or not doing on offense this year. Like, but he's not a charity case for this team. He's like one of their better hitters.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, is because we're talking about a guy who, if he is one of your better players, and it is also not crazy at all to question whether or not he might be playing baseball for you next year, or anybody for that matter, that's not a good thing to be going through. No. That's not a nice problem to have. No, in fact, that is one of the worst problems to have, is a guy that had major question marks around how he was going to be able to fit in and be viable for you, turning out to be one of your better producers for the season, is still a guy that you're wondering whether or not he physically will want to be able to come back and endure the rigors of being a professional baseball player next year, especially if it's for a team in the situation the Pirates consistently find themselves in.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that's curious, it was an 0.4 WAR. He's hitting 239 with a 710 OPS, 22 doubles, 13 homers, drove in 55, OPS plus of 99. So, I mean, like, he's a league average bat. Teams need that. Like, not every team is going to have superstars flooded throughout the lineup. Like, you're going to have, like, some spots in your lineup, it's a blessing to have a league average bat. And
that is the third highest OPS on his team, Jared, period. On his team, period. Third best, third highest OPS. We don't have anybody with a fucking 800 OPS, okay? We can start there.
I know that everybody listening is anticipating me going negative, and that is absolutely where I'm going to go.
Odd.
Because
wait, before you go negative, can't we just say, like, if you're a Pirates fan, like, you have Skeens, Jones, Chandler to look forward to.
What are you looking forward to with Jared Jones? Like,
Well, I mean,
I'm not writing him off, but I think that's a massive question mark right now. I think you have Skeens to look forward to, and then
if anything, it's a bounce back. It's you can be excited about the talent that you've seen.
Sure, that's fine.
And
for sure.
Be excited about him coming back and being able to contribute, because now that does give you a legitimate 1-2, and you start to factor in the other fellas. Absolutely. I'm like, get Bubba right. Let's let Bubba take the lumps. Bubba's going to.
That's fine. He had a nice start the last time out.
Yeah, he did. But that's we know how that happens with rookie guys, right? With young pitchers, there's peaks, there's valleys, and sometimes they're high and low. But if I have to push back because I know where you're going, and you have every right to go that way. But that's if we're just trying to interpret it in some sort of positive light, it's that he's coming back, and we don't know what we're going to get, but we know that there's talent there.
It's a 3.74 ERA for their rotation this year. That is the 5th best rotation ERA in all of baseball. So there is something here, right?
Skeens is there, Jayhay. Skeens is there.
That's the double-edged sword a little bit with this, is that it's if you're trying to be silver lining, it's, well, their pitching has showed up this year. Their starting rotation has showed up this year. It's something you can work with. And I simultaneously agree with that because it's the 5th best rotation ERA in baseball. And also, I think that's even a little bit misleading too, because if you take Skeens out of that, it's like a 4.25 with everybody else. And that's not really anything. That's not necessary. It doesn't mean that Bubba Chandler can't grow, that Jared Jones can't come back. There's something here on the pitching side, but the offense is so far away from being relevant that nothing about this season has yielded anything unless you want to take something out of Spencer Horwitz's season. Nothing this year has yielded anything. And in fact, I think if you're identifying the most important things that had to happen this year from an offensive standpoint, those things have actually gone in reverse, because O'Neal Cruz might put up a 2040 season this year, and we're all going to go, 2040 season. It is unequivocally the worst 2040 season that has ever happened. And his OPS is currently below 700. This is a step back in basically every way other than counting stats for O'Neal Cruz. And again, that's supposed to be your offensive centerpiece. And Brian Hayes, who was, if nothing else, a standout defensive third baseman and a guy you had under contract for the long term and who wasn't old as shit, you traded. And I'm not even like necessarily mad at them that they traded, because I think that was clearly kind of like this is what it is situation there. He's gone on to hit much better in Cincinnati, not the world of fire, but much better in Cincinnati, which is just another embarrassment, I think, for the Pirates. I think there is something to take here from the pitching side, but I think it's so Skeens dependent. And even if the other stuff clicks, I think the offense is so miserably far behind that it almost doesn't matter what happens on the pitching side. Like, their team slugging percentage is both the worst in baseball and the lowest that this offense would have put up in 40 years. The year I was born.
We just said it. Andrew McCutchen has the 3rd highest OPS on the team, and he's a league average bat. That the league average elder statesman on your team is the 3rd most dangerous threat that you have working for you offensively.
The names here are a joke. Like, if the standard is we're going to come in next season and compete, not as human beings, just come in and we want to be a real baseball team that wins games and is a contender longer than April 14th. And Brian Reynolds, McCutchen, O'Neal Cruz, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Pham, Hayes, Horwitz, Nick Gonzalez, Triolo, and Joey Bart. Those are all the players who received at least 300 plate appearances for the Pirates this season. That is just wildly unacceptable if you have any goal at all of being a team.
And here's how drastically things change when we start to look at the pitching side of things. If you take Keller, Heaney, Falter, Burrows, and McGinsky, and what they have done, that equates to a 4.27 ERA, opponents hitting .252 against them, and that is 582 and a third innings pitched. Again, 4.27. Now, if you throw Paul Skeens into that mix, things change significantly. That goes down to a 3.72 ERA. Opponents hit 239, not 252, and you get 760 and a third total innings. That's because you're adding almost 200 innings. You're adding the dominance. So, but if Paul Skeens isn't there, things look significantly different. Duh.
But that's the other thing, though, right? Is like they're already getting full. Like this is a full Paul Skeens season, right? It is.
Yes.
If it gets better than this, it is marginally so. It can definitely get a lot worse than this, though, in the sense that he's not guaranteed to be healthy every season. No pitcher is. Not wishing anything. That's just the reality of the situation. So you're already getting the 98th percentile of Paul Skeens, and you are eliminated on September 16th. Okay. And so I'm just wondering, like, we're talking about that there's room for growth here. And I understand with Chandler and Jones and that kind of stuff. I just feel like all of that growth is just resting on the narrowest precipice because there's nowhere to go offensively because the players aren't there. And Paul Skeens can only become less available.
Put it like this. Paul Skeens, and it's tough to even say these words, but it's because of the success that he's already had at such a young point in his career. Paul Skeens, based on what we're seeing right now, to your point, Jared, or Jay, feels like the production at times, can it only get worse? When you have a guy running out a 1.92 on the heels of a season where he posted a 1.96, that's why we are slobbing the way we are right now, is because what we saw last year has been duplicated. It has been bested by himself. That's why we are where we are at in the awe of Paul Skeens, is because anytime you see a season posted like he had last year, a top 3 Cy Young finish, we're talking a guy who got MVP votes, right? And now he's doing better than he did in the season before. So what can you reasonably expect from Paul Skeens? I think if you're just taking a look at it objectively from a fan perspective, you like the idea of this guy being able to duplicate seasons like this for what, the next 5, 6, 7 years? That'd be fantastic. We're talking about a decade worth of sub-2 dominance. That is otherworldly. We know where that ends up. But if Paul Skeens at any point in time, and this is a long-winded way of saying this, Jay, should have an average season or regress to even above average, not fucking otherworldly like he is right now, that could be problematic for the Pirates. And that's an unfortunate place to be, to think that you can have a guy like Paul Skeens doing what he's doing and just naturally regress because that's what human beings do. And let's say he posts a season where it's just a flat 3 or a 2.5. What does that mean for the Pirates? It means they're taking a step back. That's terrible.
I can't even imagine a world where Paul Skeens goes out there with a 2.75 and then the baseball world is like, what's wrong with Paul Skeens?
Well, that's
so
exactly
we have to
what
have
happens,
a talk
though.
about Paul Skeens. Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, you go back, and that's where I hope people have the appreciation that they should have for Clayton Kershaw. When you look at just the ERA posted year in and year out, I mean, there was a stretch from like 2010, 2011 to 2015 where he led the league in ERA, first of all, but we're talking sub 2s or sub 2. Like, it's just stupid shit, dude.
I don't know. I think I feel bad. I don't feel bad for the Pirates fans that were mean to me. Fuck them. But I feel bad for the other Pirates fans that are nice. Because it's like, all right, you could be knocking on the door of something special if you had an owner that supplemented this. Like, you don't even have to go crazy. Like, even if you just had like some middle of the road off season of supplementing what you have right now. Like, I don't know, is that wild card contention? Like, is that pathetically what the goal is?
I mean, let's think about it like this. As of right now, the Angels have now missed the postseason for the 11th time in a row?
What was the last year? 12?
I don't know. Long time ago.
14?
Either way, it was
That
a
the
hot minute
Angels
ago.
made the postseason the last time was
Yeah.
14. They got swept out of the
14.
DS.
So 11 straight seasons now of no postseason appearances. And you know what comes along with that. And that's, you've had one of the game's best players on your team for how long? You even had two of the best players at the same time on your team for a little while and couldn't make much of that. So Mike Trout's presence for the Angels and being what he's been hasn't really made a difference at all, has it? And are we going to be having that same conversation around Paul Skeens? And it feels like that conversation persists even more so when it's a pitcher, Jared.
We're
Because
not going to have that conversation because there's no way that Skeens takes any of the contracts that Mike Trout took to stay with the Angels.
Well, and the only
they're not
reason
even offered, obviously.
That is the only, and that is a conversation I've been having quietly with Pirates fans. But I think we all understand how that's going to go and where that's going, when that's going to happen. And that's what starts to get really interesting is when Paul Skeens continues to outperform his record-setting pace year in and year out, you understand what that starts to look like in arbitration. And could your decision to have to spend $20+ million a year before you have to think about locking the dude up for extended period of time, does that become too much? And you have to make a move before you even get to that point.
Well,
and if so, what does that move look like?
I don't know if you know this offhand, Jayhay, but what's the record for most money made by a starting pitcher in
arbitration
year 3? Yeah, because I know that what was it Chris Bryant, Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado, some of these guys made money in ARB that I think approached 30. No,
yeah,
Yes. Juan Soto is I believe the record holder. His 2024 salary with the Yankees was the highest single season ARB salary, 31.5, I believe. Ohtani was 30 even. So the records are obviously
was it David Price?
Oh,
I'm looking at this. It says David Price. I feel like there's somebody else got to be higher.
No, David Price was the highest free agent contract. I don't know that he broke any ARB records.
No, it says Detroit Tigers pitcher David Price sets a record for the highest one-year contract for a player in salary arbitration, agreeing to $19.75 million deal.
That would have been 2014.
I know. That's why I'm saying I feel like that was the first thing that popped up. I'm not saying that that's it.
Yeah.
That's just what I found initially. So I'm sure there could be something else.
So 10 years ago, the record was about 20. So, but I don't know. Maybe I feel like a lot of pitchers that are that good usually get locked up before they get to years 2 and 3 of ARB. So, this is a unique situation where you have a generational pitcher on a team that we know is not going to pay him. Did Strasburg go through ARB?
$7 million, I just saw.
Who else would have potentially?
I looked at Garrett Cole. He wasn't up there.
Vlad, put it like this. Okay, so highest arbitration salaries. This is according to the AP, and this was 2 years ago. Vlad Jr. at 19.9. Teoscar at 14. That was in 23. Garrett Cole at 13.5 in 19 with Houston. Max Fried lost his arbitration case, as did Teoscar Hernandez, and netted 13.5 in 23. So 13.5 in 23 and the 13.5 from Cole in 19 are, as it sits right now, the two highest on this list for pitchers. But again, that's not factoring in the David Price at 19.5 or whatever, 19.75 back in 14.
And the Price was year 3, right? The 19 and change was year 3.
I would have to go back and look. It didn't say. It didn't specify.
Yeah, I think it had to have been because he was a free agent. He was a free agent after 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think if the Pirates let arbitration run its course, that year 3 of ARB, you are talking around 30. I don't know that they're getting that. Like, what was their payroll for this year? 40 and change?
Yeah.
Like what was their 26-man roster payroll? I'm going to guess it was 46 million.
No, it was higher.
No, 60 something or 70 something, I think.
It's 87 million.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Damn.
I mean,
I guess
Keller,
like what, the
Keller
Mitch Keller
and
deal?
Reynolds
Yeah.
together made $29 million between the two of them.
So then reasonably though, like obviously we're rounding up another 10 mil here, but do you see the Pirates giving half of their payroll to Paul Skeens? And
No.
maybe, and listen, maybe they do. For the same reason that Artie Moreno said, I'm not going to pay this dude, but what I am going to do is milk this teat for every drop it has. Every single drop I can get out of this thing, I'm going to. So if it's a $30 million check I have to write, but I can figure out how to make that money up through Paul Skeens, then I'm going to do it. And if that means bobblehead days, if that means promos, if that means wearing out Paul Skeens and the brand that is Paul Skeens so that I can capitalize on it, then I'm going to do it.
So that's the difference between I've got no problem paying Shohei versus I have no problem paying Skeens, because Skeens would be an every fifth day guy versus I can trot Ohtani out there and that's going to impact my attendance every single day versus there's just going to be Skeens day and that's where we're going to see the spike in attendance. So is 30 million worth the nut for Bob Nutting if you're only getting it every 5 days?
Well, that's where I say, like, hey, we have a Paul Skeens. We're going to have, look, next year, you know what they're going to be able to do? Come out and get your Paul Skeens Cy Young bobblehead. Come out and get your Paul Skeens Cy Young t-shirt, right? And you just break this kind of shit up over homestands, and that's how you're trying to get your nut. That's how you're doing it. That's why we don't need to harp on this at all. But going back to evaluating Shohei Ohtani's impact, now you start to see why I called him his own economy. Why? Because he just provided anybody who's looking to make money, he provided them with avenues to do so. It's that simple. Paul Skeens can give you that same thing, but on a completely different scale.
Coley was saying it a few weeks ago. I think he was saying it like during like the trade deadline. But is it crazy to suggest, like, if you're a team right now and you're making deals this offseason, like, you have to do it with Paul Skeens in mind of like, could this be a piece we could save to maybe put in a package for Paul Skeens somewhere down the line?
You have to be an organization that is ready to make a shift in culture. And the way that you are, and when I say shift in culture, I guess maybe I mean, if you're a team who's been telling the fans and telling the outside world, and you've kind of been getting away with it based on payroll and acquisitions and stuff, that you're here to compete year in and year out, and you want to be a player in this thing, well, to go and pursue somebody like Paul Skeens is going to test just how serious you are about that. Because Paul Skeens is going to run you through the same ringer that I believe a Roki Sasaki did as well. Show me why. Show me what you are bringing to the table, because I am the rare bird here who I don't have to answer questions. Like, if this was a combine, I'm not going. You know what you're getting here. So you tell me why I should even sit down and entertain you, because you do not at any point in time get to look Paul Skeens in the eye and tell him that these are the things that he needs to do better so that he can be better. Paul Skeens has earned the right to look at you and go, beat it. Tell me what you want to give me, because here's what I am giving you. You know what that is. I know what that is. Have you got your shit together? Have you lined up your ducks? Are you ready to win consistently? Because for Paul Skeens, I would like to believe, and this is where I really start to think about this, Paul Skeens is the ultimate teammate, right? This is a guy who's, in his mind, is in a cockpit with a guy behind him who he is depending on, identifying threats, right? Giving him information that he needs at the right time. In a split second, he's got to make decisions that could very well mean life and death situations for him and the guy behind him in that cockpit. The only difference is he's steering the fighter jet on the baseball mound, and the guys in his cockpit are the guys in his dugout, the guys in his clubhouse. And he's going to need to know that you're not just running guys out there that have just graduated from the academy and are taking their first flight with Paul Skeens. He's probably going to see what having battle-tested individuals can do for a club, and he's going to say, unless you're ready to do that, I don't know that you're ready for what I bring to the table.
Jayhay, you had something.
Yeah, this is like a whole podcast probably, but like it's just amazing how in a sport that isn't like tennis or golf, how much of your ability to achieve greatness or to maximize your own potential or to build the legacy that people will talk about for generations to come of sports fans is so incredibly dependent on the team building architecture of the team that drafts you or where you end up. And I know that's not breaking news and like no shit guy, but like it's just breath like Roger Federer, obviously hard work, all that talent, yada yada. Like that was there for him to take, right? Like he either achieves the greatness, his body holds up, or he doesn't. And it's on Roger Federer. And Paul Skeens within his world is maybe not quite as talented as Roger Federer, but like that sort of generational type of talent. And like we are limited in the way that we can talk about him or the situations that we get to see him because he happened to be drafted to Pittsburgh or because, Danny Ferry, the teams that he put around LeBron James in Cleveland run number one, he should be arrested for, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's the sort of like, that's team sports. It's just the idea of waking up as Paul Skeens, blessed life, but knowing that you're in something of like a holding pattern in your career.
Purgatory.
Yeah. Until like, pretty much for sure that your maximum level greatness won't be achieved until you get out of here, until you get into a new situation. And that's like, it's definitely like a first world problem, but it's got to be incredibly frustrating to do that over what we know is a grinding 162 or 32 starts, whatever Skeens is doing, and years of playing baseball. Like it's not next year. It's many years down the line where he might be in a position to dictate this kind of stuff.
Think about it. We just said it. If you're healthy and you stay affordable, you got to get through 7 years of service before you could see the light at the end of your tunnel. 7 years of service before you can actually start to really experience what you are capable of in terms of earning power and competitiveness on a big stage. You got 7 years that you got to get through healthy before you get to taste that. So the best thing you could do for yourself is be Paul Skeens and be so good that you are unaffordable and you speed up the process in which you get out of here. That's the only resolution to this. That's it. Think about that. You just have to be so damn good that the team that drafted you just simply cannot afford to keep you anymore. They're like, look, dude, we'd love to make money off the jerseys and bobbleheads and shit, but honestly, we just can't even afford to keep you for a year. That's how good you've been. We're not willing to give you $35 million for 1 year of your service, knowing we're not going to win 65 ball games. Like, we don't care. That's a horrible, horrible place to be. But this is why you see folks in the NFL, if you're a highly touted quarterback, this is why they will do everything they can to manipulate where they're going. You think I want to come off a national championship bid and find myself sucking wind in the Northeast for a team that's going to go 7-9, 7-10? Like, no, get me out of here. You're going to send me to a team with no future? No chance. Not happening. You're going to send me to a team where the quarterback's getting his ass kicked daily? Over that. That's why they meddle the way they do. because you want to find yourself in a spot where you got to throw touchdowns and take hits for 7 years before you get to be in a place where your talent might actually matter.
Mm-hmm. This Ken Rosenthal video, had to hit on this before we call it a day, but this was a big story from over the weekend. Ken Rosenthal, there was a Gatorade celebration which caused Ken to jump out of the way and steamroll a photographer for the Milwaukee Brewers, but his reaction was kind of like, get fucked, bitch. Like he like stood over this poor bastard that was laying on the ground, confused as to how he just got steamrolled by Ken Rosenthal of all people. And
it was
yeah,
it was Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue, like, just fucking, what are you even doing here? Get out.
Yeah, and then like then he like shook his he like looked at him like, why were you in my way? And then didn't try and help him up, and then shook his head and like went back to what he was doing. And he put out an apology, which I think he should have just not addressed it at all. Like, I just waited for it to go away, because the apology was very just I think he got his name wrong in it. He's like, I can't wait. He's like, I don't know. Like, he's like, the only way that I would be able to work with them again is if, the Brewers were in the World Series. So, I don't remember what his name was, but he was like, he called him like Steve, and then he's like, all right, Jerry, like he just, it was not a good apology.
Well, Jayhay's tweet was gold, absolute fucking gold, because I do this. I do this on an airplane. Like
that's the fucking face.
Yes, it is. And if I'm on the aisle, if I'm sitting in the aisle, believe it. As soon as the fucking wheels hit, my leg, whichever it is, left or right, extends all the way out into the aisle. Like, hey, if you want to come all the way up to that point, feel free. Yell at whoever else is going to be yelling at, but you're not fucking getting past here. I don't know what kind of animal you are. I don't know what kind of zoo you were raised in, but there's going to be decorum here, people. And that look on Ken Rosenthal's face at the moment is exactly like, what are you doing? Like, make this make sense to me. You're in row 37, Z9. How the fuck do you think you're getting off before me? Stop it. You had to take an Uber to get to the fucking front of the plane. And you think you're just going to blow it? No. And the face from Rosenthal and look, let's be honest, we got to give Kenny his credit here. How many times has Rosenthal ever been accused of physically steamrolling anybody? All right.
That's why I think he really savored the moment. Like he's been waiting he's been waiting his whole life to experience what it would be like to bulldoze another human being. And he just got a little taste of it and was like, this is intoxicating. That's the
best
what
part about it is when the camera like zooms out, it takes no time to get full Ken Rosenthal in the shot. It's not like you had to do like a big pan out. It's like, here's Ken's face, here's Ken's entire body. I didn't think Rosenthal had it in him. I like Ken. I've always appreciated Ken.
Yeah, I don't care about Ken one way or another. Don't have a relationship with him. I believe him when he says that, like, when he saw the video and saw his face back, that he was surprised at how angry he looked. I believe that. But I also am with Jared on the idea that the apology video should have just been thrown in the garbage, because I think other than like the name wrong thing is like totally egregious. Like, you have one thing ready to go before that apology. It's the fucking dude's name, right? Like, just
a reporter. You're a reporter.
Right. Like, this is just like basic stuff. And then, but I also feel like his comment, like the crux of his defense, so to speak, and obviously all of this is overanalyzed, but him saying that, like, we're on live TV and we can't stop, we don't have a choice. I think that is A, not at all relatable, and B, horseshit. Like, especially, like, what is that? Like the 7,000th most important live TV moment of your career? What are we doing? Like, you fell, like, you knocked some dude over, stared at him, knew that you did it, and they were like, this moment is too big on TV for me to do anything about it, say sorry, go pick him up, do nothing.
It's very reminiscent of the Framber incident where like he throws at the dude and then like immediately snaps the ball back and then turns his back and then is like, oh, I didn't do that on purpose. It's like that reaction and then like Ken's explanation of being like, yeah, I didn't really mean to like I don't think he meant to do it, but it was more just the act of not caring that you did it by an accident and not helping him up and then acting like it was his fault and shaking your head walking back to the live shot. Like it had a lot of Framber in it. It was, oh, I didn't do that. Like, well, yeah, you did. I don't think you knocked him over on purpose, but you could have at least, even if the line of thinking of we're on live TV, so I got to go back to my shot. I can't help you up. At least you throw your hands up. You go, I'm sorry. Like something to show remorse. There was no remorse. It was very Framber-esque.
And you know what? Like, I know this is hard to do in the moment. Like, we're breaking down like 3 seconds of reaction time here over and over again. But like, by prioritizing the live TV and not the human being or the incident, he produced a viral negative moment, right? And if he had broken off from the live TV for a second and helped the dude, which would have been captured on social media and the live TV, he would have produced a feel-good viral moment, right? And so that's like, because, you see like Ken Rosenthal knock a guy over and then it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, Ken Rosenthal being cuddly, right? Almost at that point, because he's apologetic about knocking over the Brewers team photographer. And it's like, oh, here's this clip that we're talking about for the exact opposite reason of the reason that we're now talking about the clip. It's just such a self-owned.
Yeah, because I'll ask you guys, we're all big baseball guys. Do you know anything that was said in the interview that he rushed back to? A single line from it? No?
Nope.
No. So like that, it just was not important enough. Like even if the moment was Ken going to help this man off the ground and be like, I'm so sorry. Then
it's year 30 for him or whatever.
That's all right. Maybe this is the year. This is the Ken Rosenthal. The Ken Rosenthal just does a complete 180. This is the origin story of Ken Rosenthal's heel turn. Yes, this is the origin story. This is where we could have got Ken the Cutler. Instead, we got Ken the Crusher.
Yeah, there was also that story. I think it was when Rafael Devers hit the walk-off home run earlier in the year, and then he wanted Rafi, obviously, as the walk-off interview, and like he was getting all pissy with everyone because Rafi didn't want to do the interview, and then Duran came out, and he was just like, I want Rafi, like blah, 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 like making Duran feel like shit. When Duran's like, I don't want to be here either. I'm doing this so that you have somebody. It's like they're starting to get some cracks in the Ken stuff here, where it's like, all right, man, like let's choose to be a good human today.
Are you saying he's not Knuff?
Excuse me?
Is that what you're saying?
I beg your pardon?
Somebody hasn't seen the Barbie movie and it shows.
No, I did see the Barbie movie. I want to say I fell asleep. I did. Yeah, I did see the Barbie movie though.
So are you saying it wasn't enough to keep you entertained?
Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate. Yeah, I definitely fell asleep during it. Yeah. Fell asleep during Beetlejuice. Fell asleep during Barbie movie. Yeah.
Sound like a killer date.
Well, I mean, I would say both viewing experiences were not for me. So that's what it is.
Wow.
Do we want to hit on this weird Bob Uecker thing?
I love Murph. About it.
I love Murph. So like Murph's my guy. And Bob Uecker, having like got to interview him as one of the top 10 highlights of my career. I don't know that this one was a little odd. That's all. It was a little weird. It's a little weird.
You interviewed him when he was alive, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure because that's not totally clear anymore. What?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So basically what happened was Murph read a letter to the clubhouse after the Brewers clinched a postseason spot that was from Bob Uecker, but implied that it was written by what he would have said to this group. But the Brewers, I guess, social media presented it as it was a letter from Bob Uecker before he had passed, I guess. I don't know, man. Either way, you know what I'm going to say on this? Their heart was in the right place. Their heart was in the right place.
That is what I'm choosing to take away from this, because it feels like what started to happen and what started to unfold. People were like, "Oh, is this cool? Is it what I think I kind of." And then by the time there was any clarification, somebody on the social media team just sort of took what they thought or they saw was happening and ran with it and posted it. And there's not enough time to pull that back from the ether and go, well, actually, this is the entire context. And anytime you have to go and do that, contextualize something after the fact, I think we all know it kind of loses its luster, loses its shine a bit. And all it did was create more questions than answers, which is never really a good thing when something like that happens. But I, too, believe that their heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
This was just a warm sentiment surrounding an individual who has supported that team and that franchise for his entire life. And you know how much that would mean to guys just to kind of, have that moment of lightheartedness or that moment of togetherness, and it just gets blown up because it got misconstrued.
So I put zero blame here on Pat Murphy or that side of things. I think
right.
Anybody who, I'm sure for the people, I would assume for the people who were in the room hearing it and the people who actually listened to the audio, there were multiple giveaways that this was not written by Bob Uecker. There were things that referenced the season that has occurred after Bob Uecker died, right? So, and I get not everybody's consuming the content with the audio or whatever, but it is an audio product. So to come in and have a hot take on something without listening or to just pass it off as something without listening to the audio is weird. I think Pat Murphy, I 100% agree. I think Hart was in the right place. There's no evidence based on what I saw that he presented it as anything other than what it was. But the Brewers official account, you said it's important to contextualize. They said it's a must watch. Pat Murphy read an emotional letter from Bob Uecker as the Brewers celebrated clinching the postseason. Like that's not only missing context, that's like just genuinely misleading, I think. And it makes me think that the Brewers social staff didn't listen to the video before they posted it. Like how do you listen to that and be like, and nobody on the staff, which I don't know how
anything.
Large it is, said wait a second, like there are present day references. It's like, what is this exactly? And how should we be captioning this video? I'm not saying that mistakes haven't happened, that I haven't overseen mistakes when I ran social stuff, but like this made Pat Murphy and the Brewers look like a bunch of assholes. And it feels like it's kind of squarely in the hands of the operation social side.
Either way,
Brewers World Series off.
Yeah, no, back on.
Oh,
now they have to win. Now they have to win to see what Bob would have said about that.
I was going to say, can you imagine the letter that's going to hit when they win this fucking thing?
Yeah.
They have to do that. They have to do that. Got to lean into it if you win. Here's a letter from Bob Uecker.
I need a Uecker hologram. I need a Uecker hologram on stage accepting the trophy.
Have him go down the slide.
Yeah, I think that they just continuously have to lean into this thing. Like you just got to ride it out at this point.
Yeah, here's today's lineup according to Uecker.
So put it this way, if like if the story were Pat Murphy reads letter from Bob Uecker that he left before his passing as a open this if you guys make the postseason, but it was completely fabricated, then you have a Netflix documentary about the insanity that is Pat Murphy. Then it's a Netflix doc. But what it really is just, I guess, a misunderstanding of a situation where hearts were in the right place and a man was to be honored that should. I think that it's one of those things where the year that Remy passed, like they keep his honor alive, and with Uecker, I mean, Yelich very close to Bob Uecker. So like there's guys in that room that have very close relationships with Bob Uecker. So it's like, all right, yeah, like let's keep it. We're going back to the playoffs. This is what he would have wanted. Let's keep his memory alive. It's just a matter of, I guess the social team dropped the ball. It's okay. They're gonna pick it back up. They're gonna I got nothing but faith in the Brewers social media.
Let's go.
You know what?
You guys can do it.
Brush it off.
Here we go.
You guys got this.
Yeah. And you know what?
No one bats 1,000, and it's about to be October, so lock the fuck in because we need you, Brewers social media team. We need you guys.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Anything else you guys want to hit on before we get the fuck out of here?
Real quickly, Yordan Alvarez, tough turn of events for him. His ankle actually touched home plate while he was standing straight up. And if you just kind of stand up and think about what that would feel like or look like, it's not great. So for the Astros who, well, it's crunch time and they could absolutely use a healthy Yordan Alvarez. We'll see what that looks like. Tough scenario.
Yeah, for me, the Scooble thing, what was that? Friday night where he got taken out of the game with discomfort in the ribs, but he will be making his next start. Yeah, something to keep an eye on, I think. And then the Giants are calling up their top prospect, Bryce Eldridge. So again, another situation that makes me feel old. Bryce Eldridge was another kid that I had by the pool at the combine. I want to say that was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But like Jacob Wilson being the first one to get called up and make the All-Star team, I told him, like, I didn't even interview him. I just was like, this makes me feel really fucking old. The fact that like you're an All-Star in Major League Baseball right now. So Bryce Eldridge being a top prospect, getting the call to the big leagues. It's like I got my kids. They're graduating. I have a sense of pride anytime one of my guys makes it to the big leagues. So Bryce Eldridge, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I had a very similar moment like that with the Reds in town in Hunter Green. I was walking out to the bullpen and just like, remember 2018 or whatever, 17, 18 in the room. And now here he is, one of the game's bright young stars. So yeah, it is. It's a nice reflective moment, Jared.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We have some award-winning Nuggs, Jayhay?
Sure do. All right, here we go. Yeah, so this is, some of these are going back a few days, but I did want to hit on a few of them. The one in particular, so Mickey Moniak had a game with 2 homers and 2 stolen bases. And that's the second time this season that a player has had a game with 2 homers and 2 stolen bases in the same game. That's incredibly rare to do in any game. But for 2 people to do it in the same season is excessively rare. It's only the 3rd season in Major League Baseball history where multiple players have had 2 homers and 2 stolen bases in a single game within the same season. Juan Soto and Moniak this season. In 2015, 10 years ago, it was Machado and Brandon Phillips. And 30 years ago, 1995, was Gary Sheffield and Kirk Gibson. Those are the only instances in Major League Baseball history. If you go a step further and do 2 homers, 2 stolen bases, and 5 or more RBI in a single game, that's only happened 5 times. Moniak, Shohei Ohtani last season, Brandon Phillips in 2015, Sheffield in 95, and Dante Bichette in 1994. So Coors Field, Rockies players having a little bit of say here. P. Crow Armstrong's home run on Sunday off of a 4-seamer was not only his first homer in a while, but his first homer off of a 4-seamer since July 10th.
Wow.
Tough. Yeah, not exactly a pitch you don't see every day either. So he's had some opportunities. July 10th. So very nearly, almost exactly 2 months. O'Neal Cruz, I sort of hinted at this earlier, but he is very close to the 59th 20-homer, 40 stolen base season in Major League Baseball history. His current OPS would easily be the lowest of any 2040 season. That mark, that distinction, currently belongs to Jazz Chisholm Jr. last season. which was a 760 OPS. O'Neill Cruz's current OPS is 688. So it's not even close in terms of 2040 seasons. Continuing on, Simeon Woods Richardson had a very, very nice start against the Yankees. He's the first Twins pitcher to have a start featuring 11 or more strikeouts and 0 runs against the Yankees since Jim Merritt on May 30th, 1967. The Red Sox currently have the lowest bullpen ERA of any team in the American League entering play on Tuesday. That's at 3.45. Jared, do you know the last time that the Boston Red Sox led the AL in relief pitcher ERA?
Was I alive?
You were alive.
2011.
No. Further back.
2007.
Buddy, it was 2007. So let's go ahead and print those World Series tickets for the Boston Red Sox, and those are the Nuggs for today.
Wow. Yeah, that was the old Pap, Hideki Okajima. I think Timlin was still back there. Fucking we had Gagne, but he sucked. He was off the sauce by then. Did have a good year with Texas before he was traded to the Red Sox in 2007.
Can I do a bonus Nick Kurtz Nugg?
Sure.
I know all the Nick Kurtz Nuggs are it's all the rage now, but as everybody knows, BID's been on the Nick Kurtz train since the beginning.
Prior to day one, yeah.
Yeah, and the Nuggs were right there along with it. But I looked at a 175 OPS plus or greater in age 22 season or younger in the history of the AL and the NL, regardless of position. The players do have done that, and that's something that Nick Kurtz, he's at 177 right now entering play on Tuesday. The only players to ever do that in a minimum of 400 plate appearances, so pretty lenient threshold too, are Ty Cobb, Ted Williams, Stan Musial, Boog Powell, Trout, Harper, and Soto. So it is, there is not, as somebody responded to that tweet and said, there's not a fluke on that list. And I really liked the phrasing there because it suggests that, it basically suggests that the worst possible outcome for Nick Kurtz is Boog Powell. And seriously. And, that may seem disappointing right now, given what we're seeing from Nick Kurtz, and Boog Powell, ended up with 339 career homers and a 134 OPS plus. So if that's the worst possible outcome here, and the best possible outcomes are all basically the greatest players to have ever played the game at these ages, and some of the greatest baseball players to ever play, period, then that's pretty cool. So just another day in the life of Nick Kurtz.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Incredible.
Dallas, any final thoughts?
Shout out to the Loon.
Shout him out. Shout out Andy Wong. Shout out Bobby Wong. Bobby was on the ones and twos last night.
Yeah, it was Bobby on the ones and twos. Andy was taking care of some family biz, like the family man he is. But he made sure to have everything in tip-top shape, ready to rock as soon as we walked in the door. Greeted wonderfully. The food, great as always. And even got out of there with a hooded sweatshirt. So shout out. I don't want to call myself the leader of the lunatics, but just know that when we come through, it's nothing but straight lunacy out here. You heard? Yeah,
that would be sacrilegious to say that you were the leader of the lunatics.
Of the lunatics? I've never heard anybody refer to themselves as a lunatic before. Lunatic. So I am the OG lunatic for sure. That's how that goes.
Yeah, so you're kind of like an honorary member at this point.
If you'd like to put in for membership, I can run some things by the board. We'll see what we can do.
Kowloon should have like a fan membership, like an email list where you get like monthly merch and call it the Lunatics. I would sign up.
Andy, I'm printing money for the Loon right now. Let's go.
Jayhay, final thoughts?
I would just give the Wong family a word of caution. about getting into
before getting into business with Dallas.
Well, just getting into, we'll call it the clothing business with Dallas Braden. And just eyes wide open for Andy.
That's true.
Andy and
That's
David. I'm sorry, I forgot the other guy's name, but yeah,
Bobby.
That's Bobby one.
Bobby. Yeah.
Andy and Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby and Andy.
If I move 50 units, Andy, just 50 units.
Don't get into business with a man that's down. As
you got a Calhoun jersey
Dallas
for me?
Is down. Yeah,
you got a Calhoun jersey for me?
No.
50,
No.
We'll talk about it offline.
Dude's gonna be showing up in a Wong jersey tomorrow.
Yeah, don't do it. All right, we'll be back tomorrow morning. Section 10 day at Fenway featuring Dallas Braden. It's gonna be fun. I tried to orchestrate the first pitch for Dallas, but the Red Sox, they were like, "You guys, it's your night," but it's not because I don't even
Wilma
know.
From Sachem is going to throw it out.
Yeah, I have no idea who's throwing out the first pitch, but it's not us. Like originally, the conversations were like, you guys did it last year. Do you have any other ideas? And I was like, I got some ideas. And then it was like, well, the first pitch is unavailable. But we did sell out the event, so there's that.
Good news.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. See you guys tomorrow for more BID, and hopefully see you at Fenway. Get a chance to meet Dallas Braden. Jayhay, are you coming tomorrow?
Woo! Yeah, where's Jayhay?
We should talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's have a conversation offline. We're going to take that offline. All right.
All right.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
We out.